Today, every day, small cap investors visit Agoracom knowing this is the day to discover the world's next great company, to have their dreams come true. That's why I take to the open road, to find them, to tell their stories, to engage them, to bring them to life, because they want to connect with you from your office, your phone, your home, anywhere. Agoracom, find your dream. Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Agoracom in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives right after they put out important news. With us today, Rob Anson. He's CEO and founder of Loop Insights, trades on the TSX Venture Exchange on the stock symbol MTRX. Now, for those of you who are new to the story, and that's going to be a lot of you because we just started working with Loop recently, just in the last couple of months, you've got to know that this is one amazing technology company. In fact, one of the best I've seen in the last 10 years with two powerful revenue streams. The first one is Loop Insights. As you can kind of tell from the name, it closes the loop between brick and mortar and e-commerce. What does that really mean? Well, imagine if you could receive the same personalization experience that you get from online shopping, but in a brick and mortar store. That's what Loop does. And they do that by providing all e-commerce sites have access to real-time insights, personalized marketing. So all Loop is doing, and they're the only guys in the world, so when I say all, I'm not simplifying that, is creating those same tools for physical retail. So whether it's a restaurant, hotel, casino, store, or stadium, right? That disruptive capability creates revenue generating insights while increasing foot traffic and average spend and loyalty. More than just lip service, on July 13, 2020, they announced, I'm reading this, Loop Insights has accelerated conversations and projects with two of Canada's largest telecommunication companies, as well as two of the largest network providers in the United States. If that was everything Loop had, that's a monster business, and it's a fantastic business. But the second thing that they also have is contact tracing software. And more than just lip service, because a lot of people are trying to jump onto COVID and just trying to get hype just by relating their names to it. More than just lip service, though, the company's already had their contact tracing solution incorporated into the Las Vegas flagship properties of a global hospitality company. And they were just invited, they announced this the other day, by NCAA Division I Big East Conference to present their contact tracing solution to those 11 schools, and not just for athletics, but for the whole shooting match, the campus, everything, all the facilities. So they're definitely making waves. Rob, welcome to the show, my man.
Thanks, George. Pleasure to be here.
Rob, you guys are doing big things, and the press release we're here to talk about is the following. Loop Insights signs pilot agreement for 20 locations of the largest American CBD retailer who's got over 550 stores. So this is a really big deal. It's huge. But before I get into the details, because this is your first time on solo with Agoracom. We had you another time with Imagine AR in a joint interview. So this is the first time we're having you solo. Before we get into the business details, layman's terms, I did a decent job of telling people what you're doing. Give us an example of how your technology would work, let's say, for these CBD stores.
Well, it's the same as anything, and you hear me talk a lot about the power of real time. And the power of real time gives us the ability to connect multiple locations into one real-time consolidated view. So what we do with that data, we help operators, as you saw in the CBD space with your CBD stores, provide real-time connectivity to understand staffing, to understand real-time inventory, supply chain management, and then utilize that on the customer end to provide real-time engagement and promotions based upon unique individual spend and profile. Much like you said in your segue about Amazon and in the world of online shopping, those are the same formats that we build for the bricks and mortar space, George.
So I'm a 50-year-old father of four. I walk into a store based on what I'm buying, because you don't know me before I've come up to the register in most cases, right? You will afterwards, but you don't know me. You see what I'm buying, and based on what I'm buying, you're offering me all sorts of great personalized marketing, loyalty, and all those kind of things right there on the spot.
Yeah, 100%. And it's about how do you increase wallet spend, wallet share, increase ticket size and basket size while you're there in location. And, there's a lot of great platforms that we're incorporating into it, such as Alan with Imagine AR, a big part of that augmented reality and different promotions. But yes, it's understanding like and similar audiences, like you see recommended purchases online that, people that
Right.
bought your product also bought these. So we have triggers set up based upon items, based upon spend, based upon male, female, age, whatever that may be. So that's the population of real-time data that increases the value of that ticket and spend and ultimately increases profitability for every retailer.
Yeah, and I can tell you, until you guys came along, not only have I not ever seen that, when I started speaking to a couple of my friends who are in the retail space of some big chains in the US, when I told them and showed a couple of your videos, they just jumped all over it because they just didn't think it was possible. We're so used to at home, shopping on Amazon, and said, since you bought this, you should also consider this. Or you're watching movies on Netflix, since you watch this, you probably want this. But we never thought that would happen in real time, in bricks and mortar. So it's powerful what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, as the world's going mobile, as you'll see with our wallet pass technology that we've built with Apple and Google platform, tying into the wallet pass and the payment side of it not only gives us another significant revenue stream, but more importantly, opens up that gateway, if you will. So as the world does, I understand where you go to work, where you eat lunch, where you're headed on your way home. We
Yeah.
can interact with you direct to the mobile phone at any given point. And it's all about speed and convenience. It's all about personalized engagement. And at the end of the day, that's what we're providing is that gateway.
Yeah, powerful, man. Powerful. And I'd love to dig deeper into the tech, but let's talk about the business. This deal
Sure.
here, it's initial pilot that gets you in 20 stores. But the intention is if everything goes well at the 20 stores, and I think you'll tell us you have every reason to believe it's going to go well,
Yeah.
the plan is to roll it out to their more than 550 CBD stores across America. Man, how big could this deal be, just to give us an idea of the economics behind something like this?
Yeah. Well, the first part, I mean, it's really it plays off of our vend agreement that we announced a couple weeks back. This is our second formal agreement with Vend partnership. And that's really where we built this out is an all channel reseller. We tend to leverage anyone and everyone in the industry because we bring that one component of what they're missing, just like we see here with a vend, right? The challenge is real-time store, multi-location connectivity from a reporting perspective, let alone the engagement and marketing and the rest of it. So like we said, it's all about adding value. It's all about partnerships, and we're building the fundamental pieces to global scale and long-term growth and sustainability. So the deal today is based around data. It's about real-time consolidated views, real-time multi-location reporting. Our base price on these go from anywhere from $30 location, depending upon how far they want to go with all the engagement and marketing, all the way up to $200 per location. So, as we get our foot in the door with all of these deals, it's all about the data and the AI component to start. And then we add in the 1-2 of the automated marketing and then the artificial intelligence engagements for the wallet pass technology.
You mentioned, I'm glad you mentioned that you're a technology company, but you've got Vend as his great partner. For people watching at home, I'm going to tell you that's a Vend is a company, is a point of sale company. They've got 25,000 locations around the world, I believe, right, Rob? They're global.
Yeah, there are 140 countries.
140 countries, 25,000 locations, growing fast. They're not
Yeah.
stuck there. They're growing fast. What I love about this partnership is that there's two things. One, you can just focus on technology and let your partners bring in the customers, which is great.
Yeah.
The second part I love is sometimes that doesn't always work out as advertised. You're like, oh, I got this relationship with George and it's going to be great. And then nothing comes of it, right? But
Yeah.
in this situation, Vend has now brought you a second customer in 10 days, right?
Yep.
So are they essentially, can I read between the lines here and start to believe that Vend is going to try and get you into all 25,000 of their locations if they could help it? Because it seems like they must really love the technology.
Well, it is, and it's about adding value, George. At the end of the day, um, everyone's looking to remain sticky in a very highly competitive industry, right? So that's the value and beautiful thing about what we've built here is whether it's Vend, whether it's a Shopify, Lightspeed, Touch Bistro, Agilicis, all of these different groups that we're in conversations with today. It's about bringing that point of value and filling the holes and gaps. And at the end of the day, we will reach global scale through leveraging partners.
And more than just lip service, you say that. I've got a quote here from the your CBD store people that kind of, because people who watch these Agoracom podcast webcasts, listen to the podcast, watch the webcast, know that I'm very big on third-party validation, because the one thing we try and avoid in the small cap world is, I'm George's widget company and I've got the best widgets and everyone's going to love them. And that's great. That's what you expect George to say. But where's the third party validation? Where's the outside, people? And this came from the people at your CBD store, which is the subject of today's press release. And here's the quote: "There's no greater time to utilize top tier artificial intelligence technology to gain an edge in this industry. Our customer base is huge, and it's important to understand their needs and preferences to maximize basket size, loyalty, and wallet share." So clearly they believe that that's what they're going to be able to do with Loop. So what does it mean when you hear, because your quote, we expect it to be what it is. What does it mean when you hear a pilot customer give you that kind of a quote?
Well, I mean, it's of course, yes, it's great, and much appreciated for us. And to me, this is all about third-party validation. As you've seen, George, in a very quick time here, our platform is truly agnostic. I mean, an industry vertical segment, doesn't matter what it is. Like I said, we're from liquor beverage to food and beverage, hospitality, cannabis, sports and entertainment. All of these things are a testament of what we've built from a commercialized product standpoint, our architecture and footprint. Obviously, you talked about third-party validation. Our designation to the Amazon Partner Network was a huge ordeal. That's what's expedited a lot of these conversations, as well as they're opening the doors to Fortune 100 and 500 companies. That's truly special to us. And to have a quote shared like that is, it means a great deal. It means a great deal that our team, our tech team and development team and sales team are doing a fantastic job about building partnerships and doing things the right way.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, though.
Sure.
Is there a chance you could be victim of your own success? So a lot of us guys our age remember that infamous .com commercial when, back in the early 2000s, when you had a small company, they were gathered around their website and they saw the orders coming in and they're happy, and then they're really happy, and then they all got scared because they realized that they couldn't scale, right? You've got a technology here that can go global, clearly, and you're talking to big partners. You're a small cap company in Vancouver. Can you handle the best case scenario?
Yeah, we can. And everything, that's where, like I said, if you look at our history out of the gate, we did an RTO. I wasn't focused here on building a story. As you look to see, it was only the last 2-3 months here that we've actually started to tell our story. We were buried head down, commercializing our products, and everything that we have, the support of Amazon Web Services on the back end to build mass data architecture lakes. We can handle billions of records a day with our now Loop cloud. We can onboard thousands of, individual groups literally with a flip of a switch. So no, George, I mean, that's where the foresight comes from. And, a lot of people get caught up with the storytelling here. And like I said, for us, things might not have moved as fast as some wanted out of the gate. But as I try to always explain, is that I'm building a long-term viable business to scale. And as you see here with some of our partnerships that we have in Latin America and Mexico and Indonesia and Australia, we are growing very, very quickly and we're ready to roll. So we're in a very good cash position right now. Obviously, we've seen a lot of support with the exercise of our warrants in our previous announcement, successful capital raises through some of the challenging, toughest markets we've seen as a result of COVID.
Yep.
So, positioning is everything, surrounding yourself with the right people. That's really where we're focused, and building the wallet pass technology with, of course, Apple and Google, is something that speaks to itself. And then, of course, with Amazon Web Services and the APN on the background, it doesn't get any better than that.
I think Loop Insights, I think probably what also excited me about you when we first met and I learned about the company, I said, we got to have you on Agoracom, is that our thesis starting last year is that this decade, 2020, 2030, is going to create the more wealth from small startup technology, small cap, whatever you want to call them, startup or small cap technology companies, in the last 2 decades combined. And that's because you have so much horsepower available to you at such cheap prices that if you just have the brains, and I want to be clear for everyone at home, this isn't something that me and you at home could have started because I would just grab some Amazon Web Service, slap some software on it. It's artificial intelligence, cloud computing. But I think you epitomize that example. How big do you think this company, I'm not asking for revenue numbers or stock price and things like that, but are you prepared for how big, or maybe tell us what you're thinking, how big this company could be in the next 24 months?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously I understand the value of what we're doing.
Sure.
People ask me all the time of, I am the majority shareholder of the company by a country mile, right? I have millions of dollars invested in my own money. This is my passion. This is 24/7, 365. So I'm not here for a short term. For me, I know where we're headed with this, George. And it's, a lot of, put it this way, a lot of people ask, well, when would you be happy, right? When would I be happy is a great question. I look at companies like Google purchased Pointy, which some people said, oh, that's a competitor of yours. They do 1/10 of what we do, right? And Google paid 163 million US for Pointy 6 months ago, right? We've taken all of these successful companies, George, and built one engine, if you will, that replaces them all. So as the service world progresses, as you guys will see, when I first started this, George, when I spoke about big data 5-6 years ago, people thought I was crazy. Then I started to layer in artificial intelligence into the conversation. Then they thought, well, this guy's crazy.
He's off his rocker now.
Well, but for sure, a lot of them like, wow, this is super exciting. If we could actually do that, it would be amazing. But we're not set up. We don't have business intelligence teams, right? We don't have the staffing to do that. We don't have the budgets to do that. And that's why we built this fully automated solution. There is no need for business intelligence team. We eliminate the need for a great deal of the marketing because it's the same side. It's all about stats and data and statistics. At the end of the day, your assumption literally means nothing, right? That was one of the first conversations I had that was interesting for me with one of our largest breweries here. Was, oh, this is great, Rob. This validates my assumptions. Well, your assumptions mean nothing. The proof's in the pudding, and it's the numbers, right? It's going to expose, and it is. I mean, organizations don't like to be exposed. They don't like fear and change. They don't like to be uncomfortable. But those companies that don't embrace that and accept that, they become completely irrelevant overnight.
Yeah, they're going to lose.
100% they'll lose, right? This is all about real-time data-driven decisions. At the end of the day, it's all in the numbers, whether it's banking, whether it's mining, right? Whether it's CPG brands, sports entertainment, everyone now is looking at data. And the successful companies that you'll see, George, in the next 5 years will all be 100% artificial intelligence companies that are replacing the need for all of these people.
Well, I can tell you right now, we're already starting to look into artificial intelligence for Gorecom, and we got to get there. So I have no doubt when you say that, and the fact that you're so how far ahead of the last question, because I mean we could talk for an hour. How far ahead are you of the competition in terms of patent protection and just feature? Like earlier you said, Pointy does 1/10 of what Loop does. So they do 1/10. You got the whole basket, and you've got patented. How far ahead are you of everybody? So when you walk into these meetings, is it easy? Is it even a contest at the end of the day?
Well, you know what? I mean, you got to remember something too. I don't look at it as, much like when the government released their federal app for contact tracing. That's apples and oranges, right? Our contact tracing is appless, right? It's focused on, verticals where, schools, kids don't have cell phones, so there's no app. The mining sector, construction, and unions won't support an app and tracking 24/7. So there's a lot of these things that you look at it as, I don't ever look at it as, hey, George, you're my competitor. I look at it as how can I take what you have and add value to it? And I think that's what's garnered me a lot of support in the industry, and why these companies that are competitors are reaching out to us, George. Because it's the same side. I'm not just here to, eat their lunch, if you will, out of the gate.
Right.
I mean, I'm here to learn as much as I can about what's made them successful, where their challenges are, and then build our solution to fill those holes. And we've done that over and over and over. So wash, rinse, repeat is key here. And like I said, the competitors, if you will, yes, we'll always have competitors. Competitors are healthy because, as I said, people thought I was nuts, and there's not a lot of comfort for most people to invest into something that they don't see. Oh well, Pointy was this, Loop should be this, right? So it's good to have that competitive analysis for us personally, and it drives our team.
Rob, I got to tell you, the differentiator that you have from 95% of companies your size, that you truly are driven by just creating a great product. It's not that you don't care about the stock price. I don't want to say that because I don't want to send the wrong message out there either. But your attitude is product first, customer first, period. The stock price will take care of itself once I start succeeding with this. And you would think that would make sense. And hey, everybody does that way. But the fact of the matter is so many companies are concerned with the tape, watching the tape, what's happening. And that's why they sometimes can't get to the end, whereas it sounds like you're going to blow right by the end.
Well, for sure, George. Like I said, I mean, I built the product to scale. I know where we're going with it. I know the validation that we have, as I said, from our global technology leading partners. And at the end of the day, of course, I care about stock price, right? It's why you're here. Happy to reach out to your audience. Nobody knew who we were. We didn't spend a dime on any marketing or promo. It was all about building the technology, commercializing the product. And at the end of the day, yes, the revenues and scale, where we will not fail is on execution. I can guarantee you that much.
Rob, thanks for joining us today, man. I mean, super powerful. And today's press release, is the proof in the pudding at the end of the day, that it's not just Rob talking a big game and talking about how great this technology is, but when you see the largest bricks and mortar CBD retailer in America say, hey, let's pilot test these in 20 of our stores, and if everything goes as expected, we're going to roll it to 550, then that's all you need to know. Thanks, Rob. Thanks a lot for being here.
No problem, George.
You've been watching, or if you've been listening by podcast, you've been listening to Rob Anson. He's CEO and founder of Loop Insights. The company trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the stock symbol MTRX. Look, it's the middle of August. You stop scrolling social media, put Netflix down. You've just heard and watched what I believe may be one of the best small cap technologies I've seen in a decade. And I don't say things like that lightly, because this is on video. It's going to last forever. And I don't want to look like a fool a month, a year, a decade from now. But I think we've got the makings of one. What you've got to do is your due diligence. So start with a Gorecom, punch in the company's name or stock symbol, get to their hub, the profile, because there's a lot of information here to absorb. The profile section there, top notch, layman explanation of what they do, supporting videos to really get your mind wrapped around this, because I think it's critical. And then get over the Loop Insights website as well. It linked to it from the profile from the hub home, and do more due diligence, because don't say I didn't tell you so when Loop Insights become something really magnificent in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months. Have a great day, everyone. Hope you do your due diligence. Be safe. Talk to you next time.